Hey, Mano here. A few weeks ago, I sold another motorcycle to a buyer who traded in his 2016 Kawasaki Vulcan 650S. This bike was all stock except for the exhaust, and it only had 10,000 kilometers on the clock. Pretty low considering the years. Now, I have always had my eye on the Vulcan 650, not because it looks good, but because of the engine, which is basically a tuned for torque version found on the Ninja 650 and the Versus 650. Now, the latter I used to have and use as a commuter when I had a stable job. This was a while ago. Now, having seen a lot of Vulcan reviews in YouTube, always telling viewers that the Vulcan is a so and so motorcycle that offers nothing exceptionally well and is only good for beginners made me curious about it even more. I wanted to see if these guys are saying what is true. So, this was a perfect opportunity to take one out for a spin. And to my experience with the Vulcan, it is an absolute blast ride. Now, let me tell you why. Now, for general specs on the Vulcan 650, it's got a 650cc liquid-cooled parallel twin, producing 60 horsepower and 64 newton meters of torque. 6-speed manual transmission, 235 kilograms, and a seat height of 27 inches off the ground. Single disc brake front and rear disc brake at the back, with no ABS. Later models have ABS though, and this is categorized as a cruiser. Okay, first topic would be the looks. Now, honestly, the Vulcan 650S looks has always made me confused on what it is. Is it a cruiser? Is it a sports bike? What is it? And I don't know. It takes a little getting used to, and I understand that Kawasaki had to style it in a way to make it look like a cruiser, but still, it still uses exact same frame and engine that they use on the ER6, the Ninja, and the Versus. It's weird, but it's kind of growing on me though, slowly. Controls are pretty basic. Nothing high tech or weird switches and buttons to confuse you. It's very straightforward and easy to use as well. Despite the fact this is where Kawasaki cut corners to save on cost, everything feels very industrial and unrefined. From the switches, levers, pegs, and even the speedometer. Aesthetics is basically left aside, but function is focused here, which is a good thing. Engine performance is exactly the same that I felt on the Versus. It's got loads of very useful low-end torque without being twitchy, which is perfect for city traffic, by the way. And once you go up in gears, the power builds up all the way to the upper rev ranges. 60 horsepower may not be a lot compared to other cruisers, but the way this engine delivers that power is what makes this bike amazing. You can rev the engine up to redline in every gear and it delivers without missing a beat. Grab a handful of throttle and this bike pulls in any gear. Now, if this bike was mine, I would probably be popping wheelies on this right now, and I tell you, this is capable of doing so because I used to do so, do second gear wheelies on my 2014 Versus. And if you don't believe me, check out John's Moto Garage. He has a review on the Vulcan 650S, and I have the link in the description below. One thing that I really like about the Vulcan is that it weighs like nothing, as in it's super light. The moment you sit on it, you know that this is an agile bike. It's very flickable. And the seat height, the ergonomics, and the reach to the bars, the adjustable forward foot pegs, which, by the way, is set to the closest setting on this bike, is perfect for me, even for a guy as tall as me. I'm 6'1", 200 kilograms, and but I'm not a big fan of the stock seat though. I find it too firm, but it's livable. It's super easy to maneuver, especially in heavy traffic. You know, the traffic here in Cebu City is horrible. And judging from the ground clearance, this is capable of aggressive cornering. You can probably, scrape the pegs if you want with this, and still be stable in those corners and those speeds. Braking is very responsive also. Despite having no ABS, this bike stops quickly, and one reason why is because the front end is so raked, and it's got a pretty long wheelbase, and the center of mass is so low also that grabbing a handful of front brake feels very reassuring without that feeling of losing traction up front. Now, overall, the Vulcan 650 is a bike that I really enjoy. Great handling, it's got decent power, it's comfortable and easy to use. I would highly recommend this bike to anyone. May you be a newbie planning to go up in engine capacity or an experienced rider looking for a bike to bop around town. The Vulcan is an affordable and enjoyable motorcycle to have. In fact, I prefer riding this over the NC 750X that I sold last year, and I would choose this over any Harley Sportster in terms of practicality and performance. Now, the only thing that I still can't get over with though is the styling. Maybe if I have one for myself, I might do something with it. Now, if you are in the Philippines looking for a Vulcan 650, you can get yours at any Kawasaki dealership for 415,000 pesos. And that's with ABS already. Now, for a pre-owned unit from 2015 to 2019, prices vary somewhere between 200,000 to 350,000, depending on the condition. This bike in the video is sold already, and but not to worry. There are a lot of bikes out there. There are a lot of Vulcan 650s in Facebook Marketplace for sale nowadays. And if you are a Vulcan 650 owner, feel free to comment below. I would love to hear your opinions on your bike. And if you're considering getting one for yourself, I hope my opinions has been useful to you. That's it for this video. Press like if you dig it, and if you want more content from me, please subscribe to my channel. As always, see you next time.